Margaret Koolman of soulastrology.com. The new moon chart for the 1st of July, Moon and Sun in Cancer, really draws attention to the stress of the time that we're in, being 1 point on a square. Sun and Moon in Cancer, the cardinal water, opposed by Pluto in Capricorn, cardinal Earth. Uranus squaring them both from cardinal Fire, Aries, opposed by Saturn in cardinal Air, Libra. A cardinal square. Cardinal means that there is energy moving towards that element. So it's all 4 elements, not just the elements themselves, but the degrees of the element forming so strongly a square that it's a bit like being pulled on the rack, being pulled away from each other in the 4 directions. That pulling away, when it comes to behaviour and how we feel as human beings, is a style of energy. So we feel the need of Pluto in Capricorn to transform the way we do things on the earthly plane, that there's something awfully wrong with what's been going on. It worked before, but it's not going to work anymore. So we know that, we feel that pull. But opposing it is the Sun and Moon, the most personal, and our hearts and our instinct, pulling into a need to take care of the human race, take care of our families, take care of ourselves. It's the need for nurture. So that need for changing how we do things comes up against our need for nurture. Can we make the changes and survive while the changes are going on? This is why people hold to the way things have been before, because they're afraid they won't survive the actual process of change. And the other 2 corners are Saturn telling us that there are ways to relate that work and ways to relate that don't work, trying to point out to us that what's going on in our relationships is revealing to us the truth of our feelings, the truth that we are expressing almost unintentionally sometimes, that we actually get it back. And Uranus in Aries somehow bringing fire to the whole thing by saying, but I want to do my own thing. Why can't I be free? Free of the emotional pressure, free of the practical pressures, and certainly free of somebody else telling you what to do. So that's the square. Now, Mercury is the way we think, the way we actually do talk to each other, communicate. And it's at 28 degrees Cancer in this new moon chart, which makes a fine link to Uranus. So this is the month for perhaps taking care of ourselves, taking time out if we can, and checking what we really do need and how to supply those needs for ourselves without leaning on other people or trying to get one's partner to take care of one. Each person needs to be taking care of themselves, so that then we move forward into partnership as whole people. This way we become capable of working together. And then the Sun and Moon and Pluto opposite have some fine connections to Jupiter in Taurus and Neptune Chiron in Pisces. So this is water and earth working together strongly. The pull to nurture and the changes that need to be made, finding a way of actually taking place together so that we do survive the transformation that's required. So this month is perhaps backing up taking care of ourselves with a sense that all is possible, really, it's just that we don't quite know how. Jupiter in Taurus is helping us to make things practical, to do the things that work, grounding our efforts to care for ourselves and each other. Very valuable, good for the body, good for the earth, good for nature. And all part of it is the Neptune Chiron, a need for the healing of our trust in the greater processes of life. Trust in life itself. This is a time for healing. And Saturn, as well as Uranus, has got the backup of Mars in Gemini. Mars in Gemini is the energy of communication. It can feel quite chilly, quite cold, because it's a very mental sign. And when our communication is driven, it can come across as intellectual warfare, competition, who's right, who can prove what. At its best, it's giving the Saturn in Libra that attempt to bring harmony into relationships by everybody taking their own side, as it were, so that there is a balance between each pair of people communicating, that process is being energized. The communication within it is energized. If we are prepared to keep coming back and talking about our difficulties, we can sort them out. Venus is also in Gemini, so the seal is set for this month that our relationships are about communication, that talking is the way we get through to each other. Trying lots of different ways, different ideas, being prepared to accept differences as interesting. And Venus is backing the Neptune, so it's the trust that what supports us all is this abundant love that we live in. There is a little background pattern that I don't entirely know what these mean, but they interest me. The yellow lines linking Mercury and Saturn is the short one, which is a fifth of the circle, and the longer ones, which are 2/5 of the circle, actually pointing at Chiron in Pisces. So this shape is built of fifths. If you had all 5 corners, you'd get the 5-pointed star, which to me represents the growth of humanity from virgin spirit to oneness, and all the 5 stages that are needed to go through. When I see them in a chart and they stand out, like having 3 corners of the 5 stands out rather, it suggests to me that that particular pattern, that particular linking of planets, is focused on what humanity needs to know now for its evolution. So it can be, I think, perhaps a little pointer as to the hurdle humanity is facing as a whole. So just to continue playing with that idea, Mercury in Cancer, it can be mood swings, but it's also a sensitivity to the feelings of others. It's caring, it's nurturing, especially at the end of Cancer. This is our communication, linking with Saturn, who appreciates the truth of relationship in Libra, pointing at Chiron, who is retrograde in Pisces, that is really focusing on past wounds. So perhaps this month is partly about humanity clearing some of the past stuff, the prejudices which have led to appalling treatment, one person by another, races by each other, the wars against each other, which are fairly pointless in a general humanitarian point of view. So on a personal level, this could show as delving into the absolute back of your memory cupboards, seeing if there isn't something, some decision that was made way back in your history that's still actually running and having an effect on some of your relationships. The past rises not for us to judge it. Judgment's easy to make. It's easy to look back and see where things could be, in inverted commas, wrong. But the truth is, things were as they were. They are now as they are. and the truth is all that matters. So what is now is not helped by being compared and measured with the past. And healing past wounds is not helped by comparing it with now, or even what you wished it would have been. There are more comments and different comments on my website, and the contemplation follows. Just breathe, dear one. Let there be no effort. Relax. You are just enough, and absolutely enough, to please Spirit just as you are. Why do you think it was said there is no need to take care for the future? It is not yours to take care of, nor has it yet been born. How can you know what will be needed by the unborn? Yours is the present. To be true to the moment is your task, to be grounded in reality as it shows itself to you. Let your breathing relax your muscles so that your energy is free to flow, and feel your roots go deep into the earth. Air and earth, ebb and flow, expansion into wholeness. Keep breathing. Can you be awake enough to consciously breathe through your life?